Patriots reportedly see Jimmy G as, quote, far and away the plan A for next season. It's not crazy. They did draft the guy back in 2014. Belichick reportedly never wanted to lose him when Brady wanted him to go. So let's play this out. Brandon, would the Patriots be playoff contenders next season with Jimmy Garoppolo under center?
Oh, come on.
Small, wow.
This is such a tough question. I don't know. I mean, let's look at it. In 2016, you had Tom. Yes, it's a tough question. In 2016, your boy Tom Brady was suspended for 4 games. So then you insert Jimmy G, and what happened? 4 TDs, 0 interceptions, 119 quarterback rating. He had 2 starts. In the second game, he had 234 yards and 3 touchdowns and got hurt in the second quarter with a shoulder injury, and then traded to the San Francisco 49ers, where he started the last 5 games and went 5-0. 2018, ACL tear. 2019, Super Bowl. 2020, high ankle sprain. So I say it's a tough question, because what Jimmy G are we getting? Do we even know how good Jimmy G is? Do we even know how bad Jimmy G is? I don't know, because of his career. You know, there's a lot of talk about, like, guys and being injury prone, but sometimes it's just inevitable. Some things you can't control, especially in football. Guy take your knee out, a guy take your ankle out. Some things you just can't control. So how much of it is him and how much of it is just the inevitable? So I really can't answer this question, because I don't know what Jimmy G we're going to get. Are we going to get the Jimmy G in 2017 when he started the last 5 games and went 5-0? He did throw 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. The Super Bowl Jimmy G. I mean, can he be that manager with a great defense, but he's throwing, what, 8, 9 passes a game? You know, the second half of that run. So I really don't know. And I think with, you know, Bill Belichick, he knows this guy, obviously, and maybe he can get more out of him. But I'm sorry, I need to see it.
So I think they would be playoff contenders, because there is no great team in that division. But before I give my full thoughts on this, I think Kevin Wildes should talk. Because Wildes, yes, how the mighty have fallen. Like, you know what I mean? I saw your face there, and I was like, you know what? This would be like if in 7 years, when LeBron's in year 25, we have a question like, can LeBron be like a 6th man on a winning team? And I'm like, oh my God, that's what we're talking about? But for you, it happened so fast. You went from being the envy of the league to, if you pull off this quarterback trade, can you once again be better than the Bills? So how does it feel? Like, what's going... I know you were excited about the Jimmy G conversation, but then brought down by the question. So I just want to give the floor to you, our resident Patriot apologist.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, first of all, I wholeheartedly reject the premise. I reject the question. And Brandon, when I was saying it's not, you were like, it's a hard question. Like, I didn't mean to butt in. It's because the question by our producers was absolutely terrible. Of course, we're playoff contenders. We're playoff contenders if you want to suit up, Brandon, and get behind center. Look. We know that we've got the 4th most cap space. We know we got the 15th pick. We know we got all our opt-outs coming back. We know we got the smartest football mind, you know, in the history of mankind on the sidelines. Now, do I want Jimmy G? Yes, I would prefer Jimmy G. If one of the reasons that Cam struggled was not because of his arm or, you know, accuracy issues, it was just knowing the playbook, then it makes me think, all right, why don't we bring a guy in who knows the playbook, and a guy who, I don't know, likes to win games. And maybe I'm a Neanderthal, maybe I'm a simpleton, maybe I'm just a Patriots homer, but a guy who is, let me check my notes here, 26-9 as a starter in his career, and Kyle Shanahan, when he doesn't have Jimmy G in starting, is 6-24. Well, you know what? I'll take the winning quarterback. That's good. And Brandon, I'll throw it to you, Nick. The idea that this guy gets ripped for following Kyle Shanahan's game plan. It's like, throw the ball 5 times. Like, all right, what do you want him to do? Pout? You want him to change the plays? You like he got to the Super Bowl by running the game plan.
He's making him do that.
Well, he went to the Super Bowl. So what Brandon says, right? Refuse to criticize Big Ben for changing the play. What do you want him to do?
Hey, Nick,
I think the answer is what people want him to do is be better at playing quarterback, so the coach doesn't think the best way for us to win is throw the ball 8 times. I think that's the answer. But I hate to do this to my buddy Kevin Wildes, but you keep saying something or 2 things, and I'm going to put you on the spot here because you keep saying the Patriots are in really good shape because they have the 4th most cap space and they have the 15th pick of the draft. You're a diehard Patriot fan. I'm just curious. What's the last great free agent that was like, you know what, New England's where I want to be? Because you got all this cap space, but cap space isn't going to suit up. And speaking of the 15th pick of the draft, what's the last Patriots draft pick that you're like, man, Belichick nailed it. We got a steal. We love that player that we got there. What? Go ahead. Tell me.
Yeah, Kyle Duggar last year. It was great. Division 2. Finding diamonds in the rough. He's out there spelunking for talent.
The answer's
okay, all right, there it is. And the free agent is to be named later? The free agent's Wes Welker 13 years ago?
It's been a while.
Moss was a trade.
Maybe Kyle Van Noy counts as a free agent. He can come back.
I'm not sure if he comes back. Go ahead, Brandon.
He had an easy out. You could have went Stephon Gilmore. You could have went the defensive player of the year.
But
at the end of the day, Nick.
But
at the end of the day, Nick, you're right. Because one of the things that we talked about all year, we're like, well, Tom Brady's not there, and then we start looking at Bill Belichick, the head coach, compared to Bill Belichick, the GM. Bill Belichick, the GM, the last 4 or 5 years haven't been great. Look at when's the last first rounder that really hit? And then also free agency. Like, this team is depleted. They're not deep. So you take away Tom Brady, and then all those things that he used to cover up is now highlighted, and there's a huge spotlight on it. So for me, Wildes, you keep manipulating numbers. I don't know who's worse at manipulate or better at manipulating numbers, you or Nick Wright. You're talking about 2009. 2009, like they went to the Super Bowl and Jimmy G just wins games. Well, they didn't win games because of Jimmy G. They won games because of that defense. Come on now. Don't let us go back in the history books.
So here's the thing. I feel like we're all piling on Wildes, which is understandable because when it comes to the Patriots, he's quite irritating. But I want to make him feel better. Here's the thing. Here's Wildes how you guys can get Jimmy G. The question is, will Belichick overpay for him? He needs to call up 2 old buddies, Nick Caserio and John Lynch. Because I do not think the Niners are trading Jimmy Garoppolo away unless they have a quarterback coming back. The Patriots obviously don't have a quarterback to give. So the way this would work is essentially the Patriots would be trading 2 first-round picks for Jimmy G. Those picks would go to the Texans. The Niners would be trading 2 first-round picks and Nicky Bosa. That would also go to the Texans. You get Jimmy G, the Niners get Deshaun Watson. Do you think there is a world where Bill Belichick, for a player that he received 1 second-round pick for, trades away 2 first-round picks? Because I heard Greg Bedard say this is their plan A, but plan A's usually should have a likelihood of success. And I don't see a scenario where the Niners, even if they are not in love with Jimmy Garoppolo, move off of him without another quarterback waiting in the wings. So that's the trade I created. Nick Caserio, former Patriots in Houston. He's done business with John Lynch before, so you can get everyone on the phone. But do you think Belichick would overpay for Jimmy Garoppolo? That would be my question back to you, sir.
Belichick is not. The only thing he overpays for is hooded sweatshirts. He's not overpaying. He values those first-round picks and he turns them into more picks. So I think it's just, I don't see him doing that, Nick.
Then
I like the trade. Don't get me wrong. But I don't see it happening, Brandon.
If it's Jimmy G or moving up in the draft, he better overpay because his legacy's on the line. Or, I mean, it is solidified. But at the end of the day, do you want to go out this way where Tom Brady's on the top and then all of a sudden you're here and everybody's talking about Tom Brady's the reason why you guys won 6 Super Bowls? He better overpay for a quarterback.
Don't forget, Brady's coming into Gillette next year. So if we've got Marcus